Hello there, this is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. These are the cards from the June 2024 Life is Sweet Paper Pumpkin Kit. Those are the alternatives that we'll be making. We're doing the cherries and the lemons and the peaches. That's really pretty much all that's in there. Very easy cards to make. That one is my favorite. And this is a great kit. Over on the left, what you see comes in the kit. Over on the right, for the past couple years now, we've been doing die cuts that will cover 3 paper pumpkin kits, and that's what I'm showing you right now. But for this month's kit, we have that big chunky thanks word and that thanks die, and keep that on board. To me, that's a staple thing. Next month, we have new dies coming out for July, August, and September. Flower, leaves, and a little hooray die. Not the chunky ones I like, but it's still a word die cut. So this is everything you get in the kit. You have a shy shamrock cube, the stamps that I showed you. You get linen thread, you get pearls, tear and tape, mini Stampin' dimensionals, and some pretty large glue dots. And then these envelopes, they are fantastic and the colors are beautiful. You have the peach pie, shy shamrock, and pretty in pink, which is back. And then you have some overlays right there that match the scallop of the envelopes. 9 card bases in the same color that I mentioned before, or same colors. So this kit will make 3 designs of each card for a total of 9 designs. And again, beautiful coordination. The dies are on the right, good frame, butterflies, that chunky things. So then you get a piece of perforated, little strips that you can stamp the sentiments onto. 2 different kinds of lemons, one with 1 leaf, one with 2. 4 different sizes of peaches there, which, if you get real creative, that they can substitute as pumpkins later on down the line. And then we have a couple sheets of the greenery and that pretty in pink frame. Glimmer paper, and those are big chunky words. There's congrats, let me look at the thing here. Congrats, hello, and miss you. Lots of creative opportunities. You have this vellum piece with some greenery in there and a couple leaves, and then you got your cherries, and then as always you get your directions on the back telling you exactly everything that's coming in the kit. And these colors are Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, Peach Pie, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Pretty in Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Shy Shamrock, and Summer Splash. They all coordinate beautifully, and it's a very subtle kind of color kit. So that is the first card that comes in the kit that we make. And this is our second that really features the new Shy Shamrock in color with a scallop frame there in the coordinating envelope flap. Like I said, very, very subtle, light colors in colors. And again, in the subtle group, there's that cute little cherry card. So for our alternatives, I am bringing in a Poppy Parade card base. And this is card very, very simple, generic, easy, great layout. I'm using the card front from the kit, and I'm cutting that down, and I'm going to mat that onto a piece of basic white regular cardstock after I fix that glop there. I was gone for a week, didn't use my adhesive, and it kind of got gross on me. So anyhow, there is a link to the blog post to coordinate with this video, and all the measurements and everything will be over there at cindybdesigns.com, a direct link, so don't worry about writing anything down, or just enjoy the process kind of. So I got that down with liquid adhesive, and now I'm going to put down the entire mat on top of the Poppy Parade card base, again with liquid adhesive there. So as you watch me put this card together here, which is, pretty basic of how I'm putting together cherries, with the vellum on top of it and my linen thread with the pearl embellishments and the sentiment. Paper Pumpkin, I think, is $24.95 a month. And you saw how much I got at the beginning, or what comes in this kit, the 9 envelopes, but especially all that adhesive and the ink cube. I don't have to buy any of that anymore because of this. I haven't bought it for years. Invest in ink cubes, nothing like that. Twine, linen thread. Um, because I get it all from these kits, the dimensionals, all of it. So to me, that's a really, really, really good value. And it's something for you to definitely check out if you're a beginner paper crafter, if you're coming over from close to my heart. I mean, there's a lot of options and opportunities for you to go from a scrapbooker to a card maker. Because remember, way back in the day, I'm going to say 2006, 2007, scrapbooking was a thing. And then, card making came in, and you would see all these scrappy cards being made. And they were really cool, by the way, but they have to work with a much larger canvas of generally a 12 by 12 down to 8 by 8 or 6 by 6. And card makers, it's 4 1/4 by 5, sometimes 6 by 6, but it's all paper crafting, but they're kind of like two different crafts. Like I said, how they utilize the 12 by 12 is just amazing to me, and I haven't done that for such a long time. So I got all the dimensionals on the back of our cherries there, and I use that blue tape to put it together to help keep them in line when I want to lay them down. So I'm bringing in those sentiment strips from the kit and put that down in black ink. I'm going to ink that up again because I like my sentiments being nice and crisp. And then it's perforated, so I do end up punching it out. Don't like the way it looks on the card. And then eventually end up popping down the same sentiment on the front of the card there. And I'm cleaning off though first because this Stamparatus here, you can't pick it up anymore. There was a patent issue. I really miss it. I'm going to keep it. It's 7 by 7 square, and I'm so used to working with squares. A Misty is not like the 12 by 12. That's too big for me. And the hinge lid, the Tim Holtz, also a patent issue with the Misty. So I'm trying to find something that will not throw me off my game too much. So once again, I'm going to do the sentiment down there in black ink, re-ink it, use that Chucky tool that I picked up from Amazon, and then we'll finish putting together this card. And as always, I bring in minimal supplies outside of what's in the kit. So that way you can like truly stretch it with the basics and the staples that you have on board. This time around, I brought in, let's see, well, the card bases, the cardstock, online exclusives of the ribbon coming up, a couple markers, and some 6 by 6 basic designer series paper in, which was it, Subtles, or pretty sure it was a Shy Shamrock. So, the in color, and an online exclusives embossing folder, along with Spotlight on Nature dies for the circle die coming up in our last card, along with vellum. So you're going to have all this on board anyway. And if you don't, I make sure that you can, there's something else that you have in your stash that you can, make happen for you. So now I'm pulling in a couple of those little star vellum, die pieces there. And I'm popping them at the top of the leaves on the left and right cherry. And then for the center, I tied a piece of our linen thread into a bow, and I'm going to adhere that down and then pop on 3 of the pearls that came in the kit in 3 different sizes. And that is going to finish out card number 1. And again, don't worry, everything, measurements will be over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com, along with a supply list to make these cards. Now for our second card, I went ahead and pulled in a couple different markers and online exclusive ribbon we have a peach pie, and I'm going to mix up peach pie and pumpkin pie forever, card base, and I cut down another piece and ran it through that basics embossing folder, and I'm going to adhere that down, check my size again, with liquid adhesive. It looks like I'm dumping a lot on there. I'm not. It's actually very thin lines. I'm zoomed in. So I'm going to pop that down there. And then I grabbed a peach pie card front that you see right there from the kit. And I cut that down into 3 different strips. So the left strip is going to be 1 1/4 by 5. The middle one right there is going to be 3/4 by 5. And then, well, the right ones are 1 1/4 by 5, and the middle is 3/4 by 5. You see me use my glass mat a lot with that low tack adhesive tape because normally I use my Stamparatus to line everything up, but since that's not available anymore, like I said earlier, I'm trying to find a good substitute. And I was checking around. I do have a Misty, the regular size one, not the 12 by 12, and then the card size one, but they have like these sticky mats that you can put your paper to them, which is like what I'm kind of doing now with the tape that you see there and the glass mat. But there has to be something that works better for me, so I'm trying to wing it and figure it out. So I'm looking at that. It's like, it's too monochrome for me. So I grabbed our basic black Stampin' marker and I'm flicking on some splatters using the cap and the side of the marker because you don't want to dull the tip. And then I'm pulling in the Hello die, which is Glimmer from the kit. And I am taking a Lemon Lolly Stampin' marker and I'm coloring that in. That is a water-based marker. I let it dry and it got super, super yellow. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and pull in the light Lemon Lolly marker, the Stampin' Blends one, alcohol base. It dried immediately and it picked that color right up. I'm pulling in the greenery from the kit and I'm putting little teeny tiny glue dots on the back. And then I'm going to get that adhered right to the center shortly. But when you look at the picture of this card finished, those black splats, I mean, it really added a lot more texture to the card. We have the card base that was modeled. We did some dry embossing for good texture and dimension, but it just needed that color offset of black. So I'm looking at my peaches, how to line them up there. They are in pumpkin pie and peach pie. Grabbing back in my tape because I like the way that they look. And I'm still thinking, okay, it's too monochromatic, not enough pop there. And I needed to do something else with it. So I do know that I'm going to adhere them with Stampin' Dimensionals. And so that's why I brought in the ribbon, just some glimmer, some white, something like that. I'm going to get everything lined up there, and that is an online exclusive. It's just, what is it called? It's right next to me. Glittered Organdy Ribbon. It's a nice 3/4 of an 1/8 inch across. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold back a sneeze here. And so I'm just flipping that back and forth to, again, offset all that neutrality I have going on, but it does work out in the long run. And again, to me, that is still too neutral. So I took everything apart and I went through my sponge daubers and I found one inked up with old soft suede that was, I don't know, maybe what, 2 or 3 years or so ago. And I dirtied the edges up around the image a little bit. And you can see when I hold it up against the card, okay, I'm getting what I'm after here and it works out. That color retired, but I will tell you, Pebble Path or Pecan Pie would be a great substitute for that dark color. That's great. So I went around all 3 of those peaches, and now you can really see I'm getting that big offset that I need. So I put, again, Stampin' Dimensionals onto the back of everything, and then I'm going to adhere that down. I thought I would like dirty up that piece of glimmer paper a little bit, And it kind of did sort of, still enough. And I'm happy with the way that it turned out. And you can see the great texture and dimension. And again, those dirty edges, you can't lose there when you grunge something up. So 3 more pearl embellishments, and we are done with our second card. And here is a quick recap of our first card, featuring the cherries. So this one is my favorite card, and where I brought in the most outside products, we have a basic white regular cardstock base, and then that vellum circle is cut from Spotlight on Nature Dies out of our vellum basics with a polka dot pattern. And this time around, I am bringing in our subtle 6x6 designer series paper. That strip right there is from one of the card bases, but the DSP on the left and the right, that is actually Pool Party, which is a color in the sweet. And the leaves of the lemons I'm using, for my images on this card, they are Summer Splash. If you ever get confused about colors in our line, don't be. I got Pool Party, Summer Splash, they're going to go. We have a new, okay, Shy Shamrock, and then another one of Shaded Spruce, which is a core color. They coordinate beautifully, perfectly. That's how you know they all go. Peach Pie, Pumpkin Pie, all of that. So I got all my DSP down and the vellum square or circle. I'm going to lay out my lemons right now, and they're a combination of Daffodil Delight and Lemon Lolly. And again, these are punch outs from the Paper Pumpkin kit. Pin my, low tack tape there. I die cut that thanks die 3 times out of basic black cardstock and use adhesive to like stack them atop of each other. And now I'm just like lining everything up. So now I'm bringing in my ruler so I can like take my pencil and very lightly notch or mark the edges, the far edge, on the left and the right evenly, because I'm going to bring in a retired hole punch of ours. And I did the X in the middle there to where I would like know where to adhere the white twine I'm going to use. So there's a hole punch. I'm like going like really, really close and in tight, making sure I get the edge of that just for a notch on both sides for something different than a thread nest or a bow or, what we've been doing on our other cards, because they are very similar, but I'm hoping that they're different enough to where it's like, okay, this is good, and I can pull this off and do my own thing with it. So I'm grabbing the white twine there and wrapping it around, pulling it tight, and a piece of household scotch tape to secure that down, and then trim the edge there. So I already know my layout of this card here. And again, excuse the voice, everything. I flew back home for a couple days, no allergies, and now I'm paying for it, obviously. Once again, pin down the scotch tape. And I think I talked about the right here next to me, the Misty sticky mats for the Misty Mini. It's like a card maker thing, which I do have. I'm going to try that next couple of videos and wing it. So I'm putting down liquid adhesive on the back of the lemons that I want to pop on top of the vellum circle there to the right, and I'm putting down Stampin' Dimensionals on them. This is a really dimensional card. I'm going to pop them onto the circle eventually, and then more Stampin' Dimensionals behind the vellum circle so it all matches up, if that makes sense. And when you see me take that pokey tool and run it down the middle, it helps with the backing of the dimensionals coming off easier. So I just, roll with that. So I got the Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the vellum. I'm pulling them off now. Gonna lay that down in the middle, as you can see where my twine is there. Threw down the sentiment to get a good sense of, how I'm gonna line everything up. Grabbing some liquid adhesive to pop on the back of our thanks die cut there. And again, staple, keep it on board. Laying that down, making sure it's lined up, and it is, so we're good to go there. And we're kind of in the home stretch with this one now, and that is what we are looking like. So I'm cutting a length of twine, pop the scissors underneath there, gonna grab that, tie a bow, and again, that stamping tool thing or stamp apparatus, that's gonna be hard for me to, find a good replacement. So I'm going to go ahead and tie that through into a bow over to the left, and you can see the notches there on the side slightly. I'm going to trim the ends, tighten the bow up a little bit so, it's to scale and it all works out. But what I really like about this card is that you keep the busy in the background and build it up, going subtle from there on up. And to me, that's like a really well designed with a good sketch, lots of texture, patterns, everything like that. So in the home stretch now with this entire video, I'm going to embellish again with the pearls from the kit. And like I said, minimal supplies I brought in. And it's all about the design. Keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it interesting. And kind of keep it you and what you like to do because that is what this is all about. So anyhow, thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you liked today's video. I will see you back next Saturday, probably with new online exclusives. So these are the cards that we made today. And don't forget to leave me a comment, hit like and subscribe. And I'll have a lot more Claritin on board next week than now. So have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.